Through these halls, where lovers get lost and lust consumes the wicked, a place where reality collides with fantasy, in the pages where romance is second to none. Welcome to the Lover's Library.
Hey lovers!
I'm Carly.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Zoe.
Welcome to the Lover's Library podcast.
Hello, hello.
We are here.
This book, we literally finished it last second.
Literally.
And by last second, it was me taking forever to finish it.
Me too.
I
When did
finished
you
mine
finish?
at like 4.
Oh,
This
gosh.
morning?
No,
This
this afternoon, yeah.
So we
we're
all
only
finished on the day.
We're only a few hours behind schedule. But
It's fine.
our book is Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson.
Yeah.
So what's the scoop? So Alicia Thompson, she is a Paramore super fan.
I love
Love
Paramore.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but she did reference them in the book.
Yes.
If
did.
you can't tell, she is a true crime enthusiast.
Yeah.
She was actually in the back of the
Hard.
book. Her
Hard.
little segment said that she was she appeared in an episode of 48 Hours in the audience of a local murder trial.
What?
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I have the physical copy. I never got that far.
Yeah. And then another book that she wrote that actually came out this year is called With Love from Cold War. So a
Like-
little,
The Cold War?
I think so.
Interesting.
The cover was giving me the vibes for that.
Okay.
But
You want to summarize for us?
yeah. So our book is about Phoebe Walsh. She is a PhD candidate who is obsessed with true crime. After her father passes away, she moves back home to her dad's house to help her brother get the house all cleaned up and ready to sell. Phoebe meets Sam, which is her new neighbor, and they spend the summer together. But is he a serial killer?
Girl.
Dun dun dun! So,
Okay.
lovers quarrel. Let's talk.
I
This book,
love the idea.
it was good. It was a good read.
I think she's a wonderful writer, actually. I really
Yes.
enjoyed her writing.
Yes. I would honestly like to see her write a legit true crime book.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
I
would
would.
be so here for that. And I think, okay, don't hate me, girl. Don't hate me. But I think that was a part of a smidge of my disappointment was because I really wanted there to be some kind of true crime.
I know. I was waiting
I
the entire
know.
time to figure out. I thought it was going to be like he really was a serial killer or a
I
murderer
would have
of
just
some-
hoped
Yeah.
that anybody died and he was a little suspicious about it.
Yeah. Or I also thought her dad was going to end up being a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted, or that she ended up talking to the lady that she was so focused
Oh
on.
yeah, the
Like,
neighbor.
I wish that was a
Yeah.
part of the plot a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I almost for like a split second was like, is it the neighbor? Is
Wouldn't
the
that
neighbor
be
the
so
daughter?
cool?
yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I meant like if the neighbor was a killer.
Yeah, I thought
The
Not
other
Sam,
one,
but
the cat lady?
Pat?
Yeah, Pat, the cat
Yeah.
lady. Yep.
Would love
Yeah.
that.
Well, so the book starts out and Phoebe moves back home. Like we said, her dad had a heart attack in a grocery store. And so his home was...
Not laughing.
Sorry. It's not funny. It's not funny.
So his home was left as it was the day that he had passed away.
Yeah.
And so her and her brother,
Connor.
Connor... Was it Connor?
Connor.
For
Yeah.
some reason that sounded weird when I said it out loud. Anyways, they are going to work together to get this house cleaned up. So her very first little bit there, she literally the night she arrives, her neighbor Sam, who she doesn't know it's her neighbor or
Yeah.
his name at the time,
Mm-hmm.
sneaks up behind her unintentionally and
Barefoot.
scares the crap out of her.
Right.
Basically,
Barefoot was weird.
she drops her
Yeah.
phone and she drops her phone and shatters it and doesn't get it fixed the entire
The
time.
entire book.
There were so many.
When she said she was looking through the cracks, I was like, go get it fixed.
Right? And then I was like, she never referenced like money, like if she didn't have money,
struggling.
had
Yeah.
money. No, nothing like that. And throughout it, she was like, later on, she adopts a cat and she went out and bought all this new stuff for it.
Mhm.
Like, if you have money to go do all that stuff, why can't you fix your phone.
Right.
Exactly.
But that's irrelevant. But so she's immediately like spooked by him. And so
Yeah.
she's
It was
on
a
high
little
alert.
bit creepy, their first interaction.
But
Yeah.
I felt like, okay, this was one of my things with her. I was just like, girl, not everything is like suspicious.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for me, in my real life, I think that everyone has the potential to be a serial killer.
Which is
And
true.
I'm always looking out. I'm like, oh, that person's a little close to me. They
Same.
are probably going to try to murder me. But it's not to the extent where I can't live my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything she talked about, I'm like, girl, just chill
It
a
jumped
little
back
bit.
to a serial
Calm
killer.
down, you know?
Also, I was confused from the very beginning because it says she was working on her dissertation.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, she's writing something. What's it for? She's writing a true crime dissertation. But I
Right.
still like didn't understand what major she was, or even that she was getting her like
What-
PhD
Right, because
till
in
like
the
the very end.
end, she said she was going to teach something that wasn't even what her
Yeah.
dissertation was
it
about.
started leading on that she was in later in the book. They mentioned something about what your syllabus, what lessons would you have? So it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
so she's going to be a teacher of something.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, they're like, we don't have a professor in English
Yeah, which
position.
she
And I was like,
didn't
what?
like.
Right.
It was so confusing. But so she's moved in. Her and her brother are going through all this stuff.
I love
and
Connor, by the way.
Me
Yeah,
too.
he's great.
He was the light in this show. In this
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Like, I look forward to his parts of the book so much.
Yeah, because he
Yes.
had such a good perspective on everything.
Yeah.
And she was just a Debbie Downer the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like since she didn't have a good relationship with her dad,
Yes.
I'd have been like, sorry about you, bro. You have to clean the house. I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But she did love her brother, and she did all that like 100% for her brother, I think,
Yeah.
so that he didn't have to take her out of alone. And I think at one point she did mention the profit from the sale of the house. The sale
Oh,
of the
yeah.
house
Yeah.
was going to help her with something. But yeah, she didn't properly grieve the loss of her dad
Or the divorce.
or the divorce,
Mhm.
and those were tying into her life. And so that's one thing that was really kind of nice about this book, is that she found out a lot about herself.
Okay, that was one of the parts of the book that I liked, that it was a slow evolution for her, but by the
Very
end,
slow.
I really felt like we kind of had a little bit of closure towards the end.
Yeah.
And it really was a slow burn for the majority of the book.
Slow.
It was slow. It was a slow build. So I will be honest with
And
you.
it wasn't
was
even
really
the
hard
romance
to.
part that was like a slow build.
Yeah.
It was just like, where is this going?
Yeah.
It felt like the same thing over and over because it was like, oh, I like my neighbor, but he's a killer.
Yeah.
But my brother's telling me he's not. He's fine.
And I
right.
need
But
to
I'm
write my
gonna-
dissertation.
Right. But I'm going to go see my neighbor just to see what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I can't hang out with him because I have to write my dissertation.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was like, girl,
Okay.
write the doggone dissertation. You
Yeah.
have freedom.
Yeah.
You're free to go do what you want.
Exactly.
So I will recommend that if you want to read this book, because I do think it picks up towards the end. Like
I think
there's
it was
some
a good book.
movement. Yeah, I think
But
that
if someone's
just
like,
know
yeah, if someone
it's gonna
said,
be hard in the
hey, like,
beginning.
I want to get back into reading, like, I would not tell them this book. I wouldn't give them this book to read.
I would give them maybe the love wager to
I
kind
think
of
it was
get
hard reading
into that.
such a good book before this and then
Yeah.
such a slow paced book after.
And then
Yeah.
I have my next book of ACOTAR sitting on my nightstand
Right.
staring at me. And I'm like salivating, like wanting to read it so bad. And I'm like just trying to get through this book.
Yeah.
I
I'm
will
like, oh
say
my
one
gosh.
thing that kind of irked me about this book is that she said, or her advisor or whatever said, oh, good, you don't have anybody in your life. Like, you can focus.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when she said,
Oh yeah.
You need people in your life.
yeah, and the advisor was kind of shook that she said, you took
told
my
me.
advice.
And I'm
Right.
sorry. Why did it take her advisor telling her that to realize?
I don't know.
Like, because
Girl.
she was so no the whole time. And
Yeah.
then,
Out of like some of the guys that we've read about, I actually really liked his character.
I did.
I did too.
Like there were some quotes, like I'll have to find them, but there were some quotes where I was like, okay, this guy is more realistic than some of the other characters, like
Yeah.
heroes that we've had.
But-
He's emotionally stable. She
Yes.
mentioned
Yeah.
something in there that
Yes.
he could regulate his emotions.
But I wish that when she came back, he wasn't just like,
So ready for it.
okay, perfect. I wish he
Yeah.
would have been like, okay, but you need to make sure that this isn't going to happen again. Like, I can't take you breaking my heart.
yeah,
Right.
But
More
I
than
think she
once.
explained it like she really had came to terms with like this is why I was.
She better have.
Yeah, but let's rewind because we jumped way ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
One of my favorite parts was when I think it's one of the first times they talk, and she said, "You don't talk much," I said finally. "When in doubt, I like to state the obvious." And then he said, "Whereas you like to talk to cats about serial killers."
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah, that was
funny.
I was like, "Yeah," because she was like walking around talking to her cat or to the
little-
stray cat.
Yeah.
While she was on the phone.
Dirty trash cat.
Yeah.
Was it Lenore? Did that end up being Lenore?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
She so Lenore is a little cat that kind of keeps ending up being like at her doorstop,
Mhm.
and finally the cat runs in one day and like hides under her bed,
Mhm.
and she like draws Sam into the situation somehow for Tuna
She keeps going to him for help.
all the time. I was like,
Mhm.
at some point I was like, Phoebes, get us together, honey. You
Yeah.
you like this man.
Yeah.
I know.
And he's so like the first time they, the pool scene,
Uh-huh.
I was like, you liked him from the jump.
Yeah.
Well, and they both did, and because it didn't take them long to both just be like, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
I was almost ready for him to be a serial killer and her be like, okay, I'll help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting, like the whole time I was waiting for her to find something or see something that was weird, that was
Yeah.
off. But she never did.
Yeah.
He was just a good guy.
I think I almost expected this to be like a You, like the show You.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I almost expected that. Like I think because we read Finley Donovan.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
What's
Mhm.
the title of that one?
Finley Donovan's killing it.
Yes. I almost expected this book to be the same, but with more of a love,
Yeah.
tie-in
Yep.
than that one did. But I think I just needed to switch my mindset before I read this book.
Yeah.
And I hope
Mhm.
that this is is that for you guys too.
Yeah. Maybe
Because-
read the back first and like really understand what you're.
Yeah. Because it's more of a romance than serial killer true crime.
Yeah.
But it
It's
has
mentioned
a lot of info about true
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Yeah, it's just like info about true crime with that not being the huge thing a part of it.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
really a love story.
Yeah.
So I just want to let just a little
But-
note so that you kind of know before going into the book.
Yeah. So he helps her with the cat. He helped her jump her car.
She meets her friend again, Allison.
I
Is it
was
Allison?
really happy that
Me
Allison.
too.
that worked out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So her and her
I really
friend,
liked Allison actually.
they had gone their separate ways because they,
We should talk about it.
yeah, because Phoebe had made a comment
Mm-hmm.
to Allison about, jokingly, she said it was a joke,
Yeah.
that she was just going to swallow a bunch of pills. And Allison was concerned because at this point, Phoebe's parents had divorced.
Mm-hmm. She was at her dad's
She
house.
was living with her mom in a different, like 30 minutes away or something like that
Yeah.
from Allison. And then she would go visit her dad on their designated weekend. And she happened to be with her dad that weekend, which usually she was a little bit more mopey,
Yeah.
I guess. I
Depressed.
would say. Yeah. When she was with him, and she had made a comment about that. And Allison took it as serious, which you should. Like if
A
someone
good
says
friend.
something.
Yeah. But
You
at the end,
need to-
she did kind of say that maybe she wasn't fully joking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yep. I actually highlighted a part from that because I thought it was really funny. They said, I know, and this was actually Phoebe and Allison having that conversation
Mm-hmm.
later on as, in current time.
Right.
Her explaining like depressed, like I was depressed. I guess that's what was happening. But she said, depression, I supplied. I know, I was in a black cloud around that time. Sometimes I think I have a bit of a gray cloud, at least, that still follows me around. I know people's parents get divorced, and every teenager is practically required to go through a stage where they shop at Hot Topic and say things like, and this is the part that made me highlight it. You laugh because I'm different, but I laugh because you're all the same.
That's
I
such a
literally
teenager thing.
had a sticker that said that.
Oh my
No way.
God.
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so me.
That was me back in the day.
But yeah, she said, I could tell you're going through a lot. Allison said, when you said that thing about swallowing a bottle of pills, well, it sounded like you could be serious. I didn't want you to get in trouble, but I also knew I'd never forgive myself if you ended up doing something and I hadn't acted on it.
Yeah, she was such a good friend.
Love
She
her.
was.
I will say that I'm just as awkward as
Phoebe?
Phoebe
Oh,
because
yeah.
when I forgot her name for a second. When she came up to Allison that second time and was like, my dad died.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that's something I would do.
She even did it with Sam too. Like she'd like, when I first met you, I thought you were a serial killer.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what? And then she goes, why did I even say that? I didn't
She's
even
a
know I
word
was going to
vomiter
say
for
it until
sure.
I
Oh, yeah.
said it.
That's me 100%.
Are you a Capricorn?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God. I cannot believe you just said that to me.
Oh.
I'm a
wow.
Capricorn. And I thought it was really funny because a lot of her traits were the same as me. And I don't really follow that stuff or believe in any of that.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was.
I'm an Aries.
We know. We can tell.
What does that even mean?
I know. I'm like, I don't even know
I'm
what that
not even
means.
your typical Aries, to be honest with you. Because, from what I know, they're like, I'm passionate, which is one of the traits, I think.
Yeah.
But they're like aggressive.
Yeah, I was
like,
going to say sometimes Aries are mean.
yeah.
But I don't think
You're
they
not
mean
mean.
to be.
No.
I
Yeah.
think you have a mean bone in your
I
body.
mean, honestly.
I'm a Gemini because I have two sides of me. Sometimes 7.
Sometimes
Seven.
7. Oh no. Well, okay, so then they progress.
Yes, they
she's
do.
mending her relationship with Allison. She's
Connor too.
she's working with her brother, and then
Do you call her Shawnee? That's how I was pronouncing it.
yeah, I don't know how I said it.
I don't think I ever said it out loud.
I mean, I said it in my head, but I kind of just like read over it.
Yeah, I think I just
guess.
read it,
Mhm.
and I don't
Yeah.
think I had a pronunciation
I
of
wasn't
it.
exactly sure how to, but I'm glad that Phoebe started like hanging out with her and liking her more.
Yeah.
Because I think she was a good person.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
She had a good point the whole time when she's like, Connor's going to therapy. Maybe you should.
I was just gonna mention
And
that.
I think her way of giving her, because so Shawnee is Connor's girlfriend
turned fiance.
turned fiance, and she had suggested she had a book that she got for Phoebe to read, and it was a grieving book, but it was like for teenagers.
It's like the old chicken soup.
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
And Phoebe was like, "Oh, cool, great," but I think her intentions were good.
I think
Mhm.
so too.
Just
She was
something that was easily digestible, that she thought this would be just an easy read to kind of see about grieving, but she never read it. I don't think she ever took it. But I think she learned more from her brother about grieving than anything.
Yeah.
But
When he fell at the skating ring,
oh my gosh.
that was hilarious.
It was.
It was, but I felt so bad.
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to be Phoebe that got hurt, but
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
the fact
It
that it was
seems like
Connor was
more
pretty
of her
funny.
thing
It was
to do.
pretty fitting for him to have it happen to him.
Because
though,
he's
I
a
think.
golden retriever.
And he
so-
was like showing off, being all crazy, skating crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, okay. So one of the main
something Adam would do.
storylines in the book was Connor trying to find this perfect proposal moment for him and Shawnee, and Phoebe was really surprisingly, and I didn't think this fit her personality, but it evolved into it for her
Mhm.
being so helpful and so understanding of all of his anxiety about it
Yeah.
and trying to find perfection. And even when he was going to propose at the 4th of July and that didn't end up working, but she like had a come to Jesus moment with him. And it's like, we're just going to pretend that like this is a normal day and this is a normal celebration. And it's just, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you're going to find another perfect moment and we're just going to move on regardless if it happens tonight or not. And I was just like,
Yeah.
good
I was
job,
like, where did that
Phoebe."
come from?
Yeah. Like, could you take some of your own advice, babes?
Right. Well, one thing I did like about this book is that Sam and Phoebe had a good relationship prior to having sex.
Mhm.
I did like that. They built a friendship, and he knew a lot about her, and she knew not necessarily details about their lives, but who they are as a person and like what makes them.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that they got to know each other,
Yeah.
first before they did the nasty.
Even
Me
in
too.
their like more intimate moments, they were also like going back to the times when like they had inside jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they would bring those up during those times, and it was like it's because y'all have a built relationship. And so I think that was a little frustrating when they were like having their like when Phoebe was getting cold feet about the relationship. I was like, y'all have stuff, like you have history.
I know he was hurt when she said it was casual, but I was hurt too. I was like, there is nothing casual about
Yeah.
this.
It
We're
felt
all in
so
love.
organic for them to
Yeah.
move into a relationship. I was like, this is the perfect setup for like
Yeah.
a really good organic relationship.
And it wasn't like how you were saying when they were intimate. It wasn't two friends having sex.
right.
It was like,
Or like hot and heavy, like that's all it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just mad at her the whole time.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
wasn't, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm
But-
trying to find a quote. There's a specific quote that I wanted to find, but it was like Sam was talking to her about his feelings. I think it was the first time that he really talked to her about his
Uh-huh.
feelings, and I don't know if it was at the 4th of July or
Was it at the park?
maybe, but
yeah,
he
'cause
was
she
like,
said hers kind of at 4th of July.
no, I think it was after the actual proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to a little boy, and the little boy was like, are you
it
gonna
was
marry
so
her?
cute.
And he was like, someday. And she was like, excuse me?
And she's, I don't know if I
Someday.
want to get married.
But it
Yeah,
was
so she
like-
goes this
it-
whole
I'm like,
tangent.
okay.
But she was also like, really? At first, like she had that first
Mm-hmm.
thought was, oh my gosh, like kind of happy. And then she was like, well, I don't want to marry anybody. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
She went back on it.
I can
So-
actually tell you the quote from that part. He said, someday, he said, his gaze still on mine. Then he was focused on the kid again, holding on his fist for a bump. And then it says, you mean someday? I mean someday, he said. Sure, I could see proposing you, not like this. Something tells me you wouldn't appreciate the public spectacle. Somewhere quiet, just us. I'd go down on one knee and tell you how I feel about you. I know that's a ways off, but it's nice to think about. And then she goes on this whole tangent and like talks herself out of a someday,
Yeah.
which I was like,
I don't even know.
girl,
I
he
know.
seems amazing.
He seems amazing. Really.
Like I'd marry Sam
Me too.
Yeah.
in a heartbeat. Well, let's not get to that part. Let's not.
But I had a train of thought and it just went off the rails.
And it left the station.
It sure did. Dang.
I had another. Might take me a minute to find this quote, but there was another quote before this someday. Go
I
ahead.
figured out what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
One thing about this book, it's very, what's it called?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I don't know.
Like she's saying, like they, them for some of
Mhm.
the pronouns.
Oh, yeah.
and,
Oh, I didn't even notice
she, progressive, is that the word?
Yeah,
Probably.
sure.
I don't know. So
that. She did say he said. I see that in here. She said he said. But there is a lot of I said.
well, the professor that she met was a they, I noticed.
I
And
did not. I think I
then-
skimmed over that.
There was a lot of like, oh, well, women can do this too.
Oh yeah.
So,
Even
Yeah.
Connor said something about that.
yeah.
Oh, because Shawnee was more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She would nudge him ever so often,
Yeah.
like, "Boy, you better fix how you talking."
Yeah. That's so cute.
That's funny. All right, do we want to go on to the hot and heavy spots?
Almost. I have one thing
Okay.
I wanted to say.
Go ahead,
At
girl.
the very end, the very, very end, almost the very end, after she comes running back to him, spills her guts, tells him she's an idiot, he
Mhm.
says, I don't regret any of it, Sam said. Not the last few weeks, not today, not even saying someday to that kid if that's what set this off. I don't regret giving you my heart, Phoebe. I just wish you'd taken more care of it.
I know. Did I cry? Yes.
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
"Aw."
He really loves her.
He does.
And she's a
Yeah. Go ahead
Blank.
and say
She's a
it.
ding dong, but her brother got her rein back in.
Yeah.
I think that was important for him to do. He took her this whole book. She's been avoiding the grocery store that her dad had the heart attack in.
yeah.
And he's like, that was so random they have one last dinner before she leaves town to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, I know where I want to go. And she takes him to a freaking murderer's house.
Yeah, I
Like,
was like,
what the
does
heck?
this have
Where did
some
that
kind
come
of
from?
significance? Is her dad the killer? Like,
Right?
Right.
but no, they just went there.
It really didn't have much.
No.
significance
I wish they
of
would have
any
went to the
that.
Waffle House like they did at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I
Would've been more
thought she was
significant.
going to take him to the playground that Shawnee had mentioned,
Yeah.
but she went somewhere completely opposite.
Yeah.
It had
Shawnee had mentioned a playground that Phoebe used to take him when they were little
Mhm.
in the neighborhood over, and they would go there all the time, and then someone came up to them and was like, "Do you live in this neighborhood?" And she
Because
said,
how
no.
cute would it have been if she went there and they were like sitting on the swings just chatting?
Yeah.
But
That would've been
instead, she
cute.
took him to a killer's house, which
Because
she's been there for
that's
months. She
just-
could have went anytime
Yeah.
Right.
by herself. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was important because she did come to the realization, like, he was like, our dad wasn't a serial killer. Our dad was angry and all these other things, but
Mm.
like he didn't do that, you know. You need to come to terms with all this. And then that's when he's like, I know where I want to go.
mhm.
And he took her to the grocery store and he made her go in.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked, and he asked her to be his best woman. And then, yeah, I think that helped to like really help her start to come to
Terms with all the
terms
grief.
with everything. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the hot and heavy stuff.
The third date.
The
third date.
This is not sexual, but I love that she commented on how he smelled and then said it was probably Mountain something. And
Mhm.
then his laundry detergent was Mountain.
It was.
I didn't even see that part.
Uh-huh.
I don't even remember that part, honestly.
Because I love cologne. I love the smell of it.
yeah.
Sometimes I just like to roll over and be like, that smells so good. I love
Good
it.
as you, Peyton.
Aw. Good job. You know how to shower. I liked one part that I did like because they briefly mentioned that she is not like plus size, but she's not stick skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And one part after she thought she lost her cat
Oh, yeah.
and she's crying, but she's crying because she's realizing she's like grieving everything
Yeah.
all at once.
Yeah. That
But
was
she
the
doesn't talk to him about it, which
Heartwarming part.
Yeah.
I wish she had talked to him about it. But anyways,
I know, right?
he was like massaging her back and like just trying to get her to calm down, and then they were kind of getting a little spicy. But she mentioned that so basically it seemed like he was sitting behind her on the bed and she was sitting in front of him like on the
Mhm.
edge of the bed, and he at some point put his hands down like near her hip,
Mm-hmm.
and she said she was anxious for a second, like she normally would have been anxious because of how she was sitting, how her stomach and her hips
Mm-hmm.
went over the waistband of her underwear. And I'm like, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
today, and I feel
Yeah.
like they make it seem like if your stomach goes over
Right.
your underwear when you're sitting down,
Like you're not
you are
natural.
fat. You are
Gross.
obese. And she's like, but she felt so comfortable with him that she didn't even feel
Which I
self-conscious about
loved.
herself.
Me too.
Like
That's important.
even like I don't think that this book is necessarily spicy. I think it's got like a spice. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little pepper
it's
in
like
there.
a 2 pepper,
Yeah.
if that.
a little
Mhm.
pepperoncino.
She did get, and I only think the parts that make it a 2 pepper is the descriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think during that very scene, she's describing some things.
Yeah, the intimacy and like all that was still good,
Like
but
wholesome.
it made you feel good in your heart
Yes.
and not just your vagina.
Well, I think
what is
it's-
it? Your favorite? Your heat.
Yeah, in your heat. Your slickness. I couldn't do that.
And that's a lot like in historical romance, that's what they'll say.
Mm.
And I love a good historical romance, but that makes me cringe. Like, ugh.
I read one where they called it her satin, and I was like, that's classy.
So we're avoiding the topic. That's what it sounds like.
Mhm.
That's so funny.
I did like the swimming scene.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
okay, there was a quote, and let me know if this is a word, everybody. But she said, "I hadn't swum in a long time."
I know. I was like, swam. I think
I highlighted it.
I think
can you,
it can
Can you
be-
do a search for that?
both. I think both are acceptable. Kind of like drank and drunk.
But swum?
But I
I haven't
like
swam.
that. Yeah.
Maybe it was a typo.
I don't know.
Is that a
Is it a real
derivative?
word?
Is that a version of swim? Swum?
It says past participital
Ugh.
precipitation.
That bugged me. I don't know why. Because I never say
Participle.
swum.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't
either.
say swum either.
I haven't swam in a long time. I would have just said that.
Yeah.
I would have said I haven't been swimming.
Yeah, it's weird. Swum is the past participle. There it is.
Participle. That's how you say
Look at those words.
Swum is used after have, as in I have swum in that pool before. Oh, I guess it was in context.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay, authors never use the word swum. It bothers
do
all
it.
of us.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
We
Don't
love
do it,
though.
girl.
But that scene was great.
It actually
Yes.
was.
But I like when she said that she wanted to feel taken care of.
yeah.
He didn't take advantage of that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
he took care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like it's always a good tell if somebody is going to fight the relationship if they stay in the bed after all the things happen
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and they stay the night
Mhm.
and then they wake up and they get to see the person like
Mhm.
snuggled with them.
Yeah, but then
I'm like-
she's an idiot.
Ugh.
So, backstory on this.
Yeah.
Sam comes over to help her paint her house,
And he's so good at it.
and he's really good at it.
And he has overalls that have his name on them.
yeah, I almost died.
That
Yeah.
was so cute.
And so after they're all done, they're like, it was hot in there, and he goes, well, I have a pool. Do you want to go swimming? And she's like, yes and no. She's like, I don't have a swimsuit here, but I mean, yeah, let's do it. So she
Mhm.
goes, they go swimming, and then they start kissing, and that's where all that happens. Then they move into the house.
And she was
I
on it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that she
She was very
initiated
assertive.
it.
Yeah. Which I wasn't expecting.
Me either.
I wasn't. I
Yeah.
thought
But I
she-
think Sam was too nice to do it on his own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, it would have taken a lot.
a
It would have
little
been a
shy.
really slow burn if it was. But
Yeah.
okay, sorry, not to cut you off.
You're fine.
I wish this was a dual POV.
I do too.
I really
Yeah.
wish
I
I
want to
could
know
have
what's
heard
on
Sam.
his mind.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
so
go ahead.
they do their stuff, and then they fall asleep together. The next morning, Connor is coming looking for her. 'cause
Always.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Connor,
have her phone.
Don't. But he got inside of his head. He's like, she was right. He killed her.
Yeah.
And so she's freaking out because she's like, I don't want him to know I was here and all this stuff. And I'm like, that is so rude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just spent an amazing night with this man, and now you're basically saying, like, I'm ashamed of you. I don't want anyone to know that.
Right, and he was
I'm here
ready.
with you.
He was like, "Yeah, I'll tell him to come in, and you
Yeah.
come down when you're ready."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who is embarrassed? Like, okay, I've read books where it was like the brother's best friend,
Love
trope.
those.
Oh, yeah.
When the older brother is usually the one that would be like really mad if the younger sister or even just a sister would,
Mhm.
be in a relationship. But Connor actually likes Sam.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why. And like, even when she would mention, like, not even kind of liking him, but mention him to
Mhm.
Connor, he'd be like, oh, Sam is,
I would
yeah.
have told Connor, if after that day, don't ever come over to his house ever again.
Right.
Because let me tell you something. We were getting hot and heavy, and I was appreciating it.
Yeah.
And he's always like in the way. Like, he's
Yes.
always calling her, like, just leave her alone.
He
She's
wants
so
her to be
cute.
happy,
Yeah.
but he just
He's a
is-
golden retriever.
He misses
Yes.
her.
I
They were
know.
Oh,
robbed of
yeah,
their
you're
childhood
right.
together.
And they're just not okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
All right.
You'll have to read the book to figure that out.
Yeah.
Do you have any more spicy third date?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I want to move on to the
Fuck, marry, kill.
yeah.
So this one was a little hard for me because I don't really think there's anybody that I want to kill.
I'll kill her dad again.
I mean, he
And I
and
said
the
again.
mom. And the mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, but
sucked,
that's not my choice.
but I would fuck Sam
for sure.
and also marry him,
For sure.
and then also maybe
Kill him.
marry Connor.
Yeah.
Not as Phoebe, obviously. That would be weird.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Never King.
It doesn't. Yeah. These are when we say we're gonna fuck, marry, kill people. It's not as us being the character.
Yeah, it's us being
Phoebe,
us.
It's us being ourselves. So yeah. Because I noticed that when we did Ruled Out and we all picked Corbin, the uncle.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that sounds real weird.
Really weird.
But yeah, no, I agree. I don't have anyone else I would be interested in but Sam in this book. There really weren't any other characters.
Yeah, not really.
So yeah, I would fuck Sam, marry Sam, and kill her dad again.
All right, you want to hear mine?
Mm-hmm.
After I told him
I
off.
always love your weird choices.
Okay. All right. Just because he was in here for like a blip of a second.
Joshua?
Yeah, him. F him.
Because he was
He
nerdy.
was a
a
one-off,
nerd.
you know?
Okay. She'll never see him again. So
Right. But he's a to-do guy. So he was willing
Yeah.
to fix up the house and all that stuff.
And you were to do him.
There you go. And then, of course, marry Sam. And then this would be like a serial killer kind of vibes, you know? I would leave no trace of this happening, but the professor, like her professor.
The advisor lady?
The one that gave her
advisor
bad
lady.
advice.
Because I would have
She
been
did, but also she
low-key.
was one of her favorite students. And I think she was pressuring her because she wanted her to be the best. And that's how she saw it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but on top of all the trauma this girl's gone through,
Right.
she didn't need the extra pressure. She
You
was
know
already
what?
doing it.
They should have told her at the very beginning, maybe since you are crazy, you should not focus on true crime as your dissertation.
Right.
That's also good advice. So I'm knocking the professor off the board.
Cool.
She's dead in my eyes.
Take her out. Well, speed date.
Yes.
I only have 2 people. And they're both for Sam.
Okay.
My first one is the one and only love of my life, Jake Johnson.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Ben Affleck.
Who?
What?
Who?
Actually, yeah, that actually fits.
Yeah,
Duh.
I could see
Nick
that.
Fucking Miller.
With long hair because
My man.
because Sam has long hair because he was always getting in his face.
Yeah.
He was always
She
like,
described his features and
And-
she was like, he's attractive, but like in a off way a little bit.
Yeah.
And she said something about his nose was like a little
he had a bump.
bump or
Mhm.
something like that. And I was like, that's my man.
I love that she
My
kept
man,
talking
my
about his
man.
like bedhead hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. So
Okay.
he was one, but he was I thought of him like he's my 100% choice. But the
Okay.
person I thought of before that was the guy from You.
Oh, yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
the one that plays Joe.
I think I picked him for the last book.
You did.
You did.
He's so good looking.
Oh. But I feel like, well, actually, no.
He's
because
good looking, but in a creepy way.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
feel like he could be a killer in real
like
life,
you in a
but
creepy
he's pretty
way.
hot.
Yeah.
I think for
So maybe he fits for Sam.
my Sam is okay from Supernatural, the younger brother.
Sam.
Sam. Oh yeah.
From that show, that
that
one that we
show.
reference every single time.
Yeah. He's got the shaggy hair, the darker features. I know he's probably taller than what Sam is in this book. Cause
Yeah, he'd be a good one.
Yeah, I think he would. But like Dean's height.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I thought those were my picks for the
Okay.
guy for Sam. What is yours, Zoe?
Mine is Ben Affleck. However, not Batman Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Before he was super ripped, but not when he was super chubby.
When he was with JLo before,
Yes.
not JLo now.
Okay.
No,
Ooh, not
I
that
want.
Ben.
There's a specific photo, and
Okay.
it's the one that I sent our producer that he's not showing.
Come on, producer.
Send it to if you send it to my phone, he'll be able to get it on the computer. Or you could airdrop it to my computer.
And I picked this one specifically because of the way she says he dresses when he goes and teaches music lessons.
Oh, is that it? Oh,
Oh, I love that he was a school teacher too.
Me too.
Yeah, that's a cute
yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
I don't.
He just needs the longer hair.
Yeah.
I still stand by my choice.
You
No,
have
those
a
are
really
good
good
choices.
choice. But I'm in love with Ben Affleck.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
110%
actually
yes.
disappointed
funny.
him and JLo got back together.
Because I can't be with him. I'm also disappointed for that
of course.
reason.
That's the only reason.
Did anybody have a girl? Because I didn't have.
I didn't.
anybody
I
for
did. I
Phoebe.
picked Mandy Moore.
I love her.
I
Just
do
in general.
like that.
Yeah, I would go with.
I
go
am
for
also
that.
in love with Mandy Moore.
I love her.
I mean,
She does amazing in This Is Us.
yeah.
By the way,
I can't.
I
think
heard
of
she got paid
anyone
1
else.
penny for that. I don't know if that's true, but
1 penny.
I mean, they're on strike right now. For
did
a
you
reason.
know she's also the voice of Rapunzel from Tangled?
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And she wants A Walk to Remember to get rebooted and have Olivia Rodrigo play her. I also
Ooh.
don't know if that's true, but I saw it on the internet.
She got
Mm.
$85,000 per episode.
Well, they raised it up by the end of it, didn't they?
Yeah, to 250,000.
I wonder if that.
I mean, that's not a penny by any means.
No,
but
it's
maybe
not.
it's the residuals.
You can't read everything, or you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
True date.
You got it from
True
Yahoo
date.
Mail
True
News,
dat.
didn't you?
Look, it
Yahoo
says
News.
Mandy Moore receives pennies. for
Pennies.
This
for
Is Us on Hulu.
Maybe it's the residuals. This is why we can't have a screen. Oh, we're all
Right, we're all off track. Do we have any more people?
No, I didn't have any
No.
other. It was just Sam from Supernatural for me.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys.
Jake. So, okay, love
go
it
back.
or list it. What are we, smash or pass?
This might be a one night stander for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One night stand. I think it was a good read. I think that if you have like some spare time after you've read a couple of your books on your TBR,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure this was like on Book Talk
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
I
if
think it was.
you know, kind of like it's a slow burn and it's really a romance more than a true crime, then you'll have the right expectations going into
Not
that.
Yeah.
looking for
I
a-
think like
crime.
chapter 17 is where
It really
I was
picks
like,
up.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
into
my
this
first
book now.
my first tabby here, Mark, was from page like 92.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
book
it's
was
a
a
relatively
quick read.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a really quick read. So, I mean, it'll boost up your books of the year if you
Yeah.
just want to get
Yeah.
one more notched on your
Couple
stuff.
hour read, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, couple hours.
Yeah.
Took me forever.
Oh, it literally took me like 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time though.
I'm also sleep deprived.
You are sleep deprived.
True.
You have
So
kids.
our happily ever after is
The Inn on Harmony Island
yes.
That's in this book.
by Anne Marie Meyer.
Yes.
And I saw
Wow.
this
Okay.
on either Instagram Reels or TikTok.
Yeah, I
and
think
I'm
it's
so
on my TBR
excited.
too.
I saw it on the
Or maybe even
TikTok. No, I
Facebook.
saw it on Instagram
Yeah.
because it was one of those
Yep.
where it's like he came over and picked me up off the bed or
Yeah.
off the couch and took me to the bed, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll read it.
Yeah. It looks really good.
I'm
Yeah,
excited for
So
it.
we're very
We
excited.
are so excited. If you don't follow us on Instagram, we'd love to have you join us. We are Lovers Library Pod for the podcast and Lovers Library Book Club for our book club on Instagram. We also have a online book club as well on Facebook. It's Lovers Library Book Club. And you can just search, and it is a private group, but we pretty much accept any and everybody that wants to join.
Except for that one guy that I just
Yeah, there's been a
rejected
few.
the other day.
There's been a few, like African princes that want to
It
join.
was definitely, it might have been an Asian prince, but
Yeah, so if you got to be kind of a real person, but
What if they wanted to give us money?
sure they did.
right. And so that's it, guys. We love you so much for checking out our podcast. Oh, also, we've got some pretty fun videos on our Instagram if you want to go and look at that as well.
Do it now.
They're pretty fun. We love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
And keep an eye out because we might have some merch coming out soon.
Ooh, yes.
Happily ever after.
Bye.